You've probably heard of Boriska, the boy from Mars, at least once. Since 2010, the boy gained fame as an expert in prophecy, extraterrestrials, and the mysterious. Then he disappeared for a long time, after being widely covered by the Russian media. As time passed, it seemed like everyone had forgotten about the boy from Mars. However, in 2019, a surprising interview with Boriska emerged on the internet. At that time, he was 23 years old. He provided the latest answers to the rumors. In that interview, Boriska was asked, "If you come from Mars, a place with an advanced civilization, why don't they use technology to help humans on Earth?" Boriska replied, "Reincarnated individuals can only carry 2% of memories, and information related to wars, astronomy, and technology is strictly prohibited. Those memories will be completely erased before the age of 10. If there are any banned memories left, they only appear in dreams. And upon waking up, they must be recorded immediately." In Boriska's words, Mars is not just an independent planet, but a convergence of multi-dimensional space. And ethics is the tool to manage and restrain the people on Mars. Unlike Earth, which uses politics and government, Boriska revealed that the Great Flood on Earth is real. It happened 4,500 years ago, when the sea level rose to 5,000 meters, leaving only a few civilizations on plateaus. Starting from 2000, time on Earth has been accelerated. A day used to be 24 hours. But now a day is only equivalent to 1 second, meaning time has been accelerated by 86,400 times compared to before. The space, time, and matter have all undergone changes, but humans cannot detect it. Boriska states that 3,000 large galaxies equal one level 1 cosmic layer. There exists a universe larger than our own 3,000 times over. This reminds me of the words of the Buddha. The 3,000 worlds, the great thousand worlds, reflecting the profound wisdom of the Buddha. According to Boriska, a higher advanced civilization exists in the level 2 cosmic layer, and beyond that, he believes it is beyond our knowledge and also beyond our permission to know. Finally, Boriska was shocked again when he revealed the origin of the moon. Boriska stated that the moon was created by an ancient human civilization in an extremely distant era. Modules were manufactured on Earth, then placed in the moon's orbit to assemble it. It a hollow sphere. Our perception of the moon is that it is a natural satellite of Earth. But there are 8 pieces of evidence that show the moon is artificial. 1. The moon's orbit is perfectly circular. In the solar system, the moon is the only satellite with a perfectly circular orbit, as if it were drawn by a compass. Isn't the inner side affected by Earth's gravitational pull or anything? The orbits of some satellites are actually ellipses. 2. We can only see one side of the moon. The moon doesn't rotate like a natural celestial body. We always see one side of the moon from the beginning until now. This makes the moon resemble a pre-programmed artificial satellite. 3. Too large to be a natural satellite. Some planets in the solar system can become natural satellites. However, the moon is unusually large to be a natural satellite. For a comparison, we can see this clearly. Mars has 2 natural satellites. The larger one has a diameter of 0.34% of Mars' diameter. Jupiter has 13 satellites, and the largest one is only 3.5% of Jupiter's diameter. Saturn has 23 satellites. The largest one has a diameter of 3.75% of Saturn's diameter. No natural satellite exceeds 5% of the mother planet's diameter. But the moon's diameter is 27% of Earth's diameter. From these comparisons, we can see the moon is unusually large compared to other satellites. 4. Some strange coincidences between the Sun, Earth, and Moon. There are extremely special and unbelievable astronomical phenomena. between the Sun, Earth, and Moon. The average distance from Earth to the Moon is 380,000 kilometers, while the distance from the Sun to Earth is 150 million kilometers. The distance from the Sun to Earth is over 395 times greater than the distance from Earth to the Moon. The diameter of the Sun is about 1,380,000 kilometers, and the diameter of the Moon is 3,400 kilometers. Their ratio is again 395 times. Is this a coincidence? What is happening here? Because both of these ratios are 395 times. When observed from Earth, we see the Sun as being the same size as the Moon. What is the probability of this random event in the universe? Maybe very, very, very small, but it is happening on Earth. It's really strange. 5. The Moon is hollow. The experiment of impacting the Moon's surface can explain the structure of the Moon. Scientists used a spacecraft to impact the Moon, causing it to vibrate. Vibration measurements were taken on the Moon's surface. This vibration lasted for more than 15 minutes. This reminds me of hitting a large bell. When you strike it, the bell rings and echoes for a long time before gradually disappearing. From this, it proves that the Moon is hollow. In addition, to make sure of this hypothesis, they set up a seismometer on the opposite side. Unexpectedly, they only received horizontal waves. But if you hit a solid steel ball, there must be both horizontal and vertical waves. This once again confirms that the Moon is hollow. 6. The Moon contains incredibly hard metallic elements. When astronauts tried to drill a hole on the Moon's surface using an electric drill, despite their considerable efforts, they couldn't penetrate it. This phenomenon is quite perplexing. We usually know that planetary surfaces are composed of rocks and soil. So why couldn't we drill into the Moon? Scientists have discovered that the Moon's surface is primarily composed of extremely hard metallic elements. More precisely, it's mostly made up of titanium, which is used in spacecraft construction. According to estimates by Soviet researchers, this layer of titanium on the Moon's surface is about. The structure of the Moon could be likened to that of a hollow, rigid metallic sphere. This could explain why even the largest asteroids couldn't create craters deeper than about 4 kilometers on the Moon's surface. This is because beyond this depth, it encounters the titanium layer, which asteroids can't penetrate. Scientists have calculated that if a small asteroid with a diameter of 16 kilometers were to impact Earth at a speed of 50,000 kilometers per hour, it would create a crater with a diameter 4 to 5 times larger than the asteroid itself. This would be around 64 to 80 kilometers in diameter. The Gagarin crater is the deepest crater on the Moon's surface, with a diameter of 300 kilometers. So, if the Gagarin crater were created on Earth, it would have a minimum depth of 1,200 kilometers. 7. The Moon contains an enormous amount of rare metals. In the lunar craters, there is a large amount of lava soil and loose rocks. What's noteworthy, however, is that within this lava, there is an abundance of rare metals such as titanium, chromium, and tantalum. These metals are highly durable, resistant to corrosion, and are found in their pure elemental form, a state that is extremely rare in nature. On Earth, these metals exist in the form of metal oxides, and acquiring them in their pure form requires highly advanced refining techniques. So, who could be on the Moon? And when did they refine these metals? 8. Astronauts encountered UFOs on the Moon. In December 1972, the spacecraft Apollo, marking the end of the US Moon exploration program after 30 years. The reason was that all 25 members of the astronaut crew witnessed UFOs. They appeared alongside the spacecraft with highly advanced technology, instilling a sense of fear that led NASA to abandon the mission to explore the Moon. In 1973, NASA released some of the first results of lunar exploration to the public. In one announcement, NASA stated that all 25 Apollo astronauts encountered UFOs. Wernher von Braun, a former American astronaut on a mission to explore the moon, revealed before his passing that some mysterious extraterrestrial forces had been monitoring the Apollo astronaut crew during their mission. In 1979, Maurice Chatwin, the chief communications officer at NASA, stated that astronauts participating in missions to the moon and space frequently encountered UFOs. The UFOs closely followed the spacecraft at very close distances. Each time a UFO appeared, the astronauts had to communicate with the Earth Center. A few years later, astronaut Neil Armstrong also revealed, "It was incredible. We were warned off. There were structures and ships on the moon. I can only say that their ships were far superior, and they were big." William Rutledge, 77 years old, a former astronaut now living in Rwanda, stated that he had participated in a secret mission to the moon. However, that was no longer of importance. According to Rutledge, in 1976, he was selected for the Apollo 20 mission, a secret collaboration between the Soviet Union and the United States. Before that, Apollo 14 had observed some abandoned spacecraft on the moon. There were even complex structures resembling a city in the southern polar region of the moon. Therefore, Apollo 20 was assigned the expanded investigative mission, where they revisited footage of an abandoned city with intricate architecture. The video surfaced on the internet in 2007. Furthermore, Rutledge mentioned that his research team found a cigar-shaped spacecraft, which was 3 kilometers long, situated inside a volcano. With the many strange phenomena about the moon that we have just mentioned, we can conclude the moon could very well be the product of a prehistoric civilization. This means that humans in prehistoric times may have created the moon. Just as the Martian boy Boriska mentioned, numerous archaeological pieces of evidence have demonstrated that humans in ancient times preceded this current civilization, and there are even more ancient civilizations that have come before.